I guess to start at the beginning of my entire Engler journey, I'd have to go back to EAEP 101 with Tom. And I think in that class, everybody feels a little bit of the pressure to find what's your business journey going to be and how quickly can you find it. And, looking back on that now, I know that that's completely not the point of the class at all. But in that point, that's what I felt. So I was looking back on everything that I had done, kind of throughout my life and trying to see if there was any entrepreneurial adventures that I could take on. And one was honestly kind of right in front of my face. I had worked on my grandpa's painting crew for every summer prior to coming to college for about 6 years, and he had done exterior painting all with a brush. It was absolutely awful. And I thought that it would be a good idea for me to take that over from him, considering it was his last year and he didn't want to do it anymore. So I called him that night and I was like, look, I would love to start some kind of entrepreneurial journey, and I think this is where I want to start. What do you think? And he was like, all right, if you want to do it, then you can go for it. I was like, okay. So from then on, I kind of ran the ropes and did what I needed to do. I made my own LLC, called it P. Wendelin Painting LLC. So fun. And hired a few employees and kind of figured out where I was going to find my customers. A lot of those came from just connections that I had previously had. And as that summer started out, I loved the idea of making sure that my employees had a paycheck and loved signing it myself, super fun, and loved the connection with the customers, but absolutely hated the work. So I decided to quit after my second year, actually. Decided I did not want to do that anymore, and then kind of took a break. Still stayed very invested in Engler, but took a break from my own entrepreneurial journey for a bit. And then I guess I picked it back up in EAEP 275 with Brennan and found a group of students with similar interests. We had absolutely no idea what we wanted to do, but quickly kind of put our common interests together. We looked around campus and saw that everyone wore those cool comfort color t-shirts, but they were hard to get access to if you weren't in Greek life. And we all had the similar interest in agriculture, being an angler, and honestly all of our backgrounds aligned with agriculture as well. And put all of that together and came up with Backroad & Co., which was a Western comfort colors inspired graphic tee company, and had so much fun with that, just finding new designs and reaching a new market of students who loved these cool new popular t-shirts but also wanted to advocate for agriculture along the way. Just a super fun business idea. Got customers that were really invested with us, but soon learned that for us to take the next big step, it would be bigger than any of us were prepared for, just with the LLC, with the monetary investment that would require and time. We didn't have a lot of any of those things, so took a step back from that as well and ultimately quit, as not a word I love to use, but I'm learning, getting there. And then, this whole thing came full circle for me when I was filling out the exec application. There was a question on it that said, what's the best thing you've ever quit? And I looked at that question and I was like, well, this makes no sense. And so I called my mom and I was like, let me read this question to you. It says, what's the best thing you've ever quit? She goes, well, that doesn't make any sense. I said, that's what I thought. It should be, what's the best thing you've ever started or the worst thing you've ever quit? And she was like, exactly. It's like, oh boy. So I looked at it for a while. It took me many more days to fill out this application than I wanted it to because I couldn't figure that one question out. And I wanted to, to call and reach out to other people and say, what's the deal with this? But I knew Engler wouldn't put it in there if it didn't make sense. So looked at it for a while and eventually figured it out that quitting isn't always bad. And that was hard for me to come to terms with. And once I did, everything kind of fell into place a lot easier for me. I was able to look back on my time in the painting company, and that was an awesome thing for me to quit. Honestly, I learned so much from it, met so many people, made so many connections, and it was great for me to quit because I had no passion for it. And I think that's what people, and what I need to learn from, is when you don't have passion for something and it's not serving your purpose, you should quit. And then with the t-shirt company, a little bit of a different story, just couldn't make things line up like we needed it to. So ultimately had to quit. Nothing bad with that. Still a super fun business venture that we all got to take a part in, but just wasn't serving us in the long term. And it was the best step for all of us to take to quit. So I think to wrap everything up, my biggest challenge personally has been learning when things aren't serving my purpose and aren't great for me, and how to quit and how to throw in the towel and say there's better things out there for me that can serve me better and serve, my overall purpose and what I'm feeling called towards to do as I move forward in life. So challenge all of you guys to do the same things that you aren't excited about and aren't serving your purpose. Don't be afraid to quit and throw in the towel and start something new. My name is Presley Wendelin, and you're listening to the Engler Journey Podcast.